How many customer visits do you think the average In-N-Out Burger gets per year? Because I knew they were popular. I've seen the news reports where people wait for hours around the building when a new location is about to open up. But I didn't know how popular, how outrageously popular they are, until I read this article from QSR magazine that says in 2022, In-N-Out Burgers averaged almost 700,000 visits per location. That's over 1,900 customers a day. Now that's a ton. To put that into perspective, the average McDonald's did 186.3 per location. And Chick-fil-A, the mighty Chick-fil-A, did 353.5 thousand. That's about half as many. An In-N-Out Burger doesn't do breakfast. So what does that mean when you think about sales? Well, I went to In-N-Out Burger the other day and I had lunch and my order was $9.90. Now if you multiply that times 700,000, that's $6.9 million on average. And that was a small order, so I'm guessing they're doing about $10 million per location on average. So when I see a business this successful, I know there's things that we can learn from them about how we can do business better. So because I guarantee you, that when a company is this successful, they're doing things differently than everyone else is doing. I'm going to share with you 7 rules they break that makes them billions. Now the 7th one is the most controversial, but I think it's the most important. Let me know if you think it helps or hurts the company in the comments. Their president and owner is a lovely young lady named Lindsay Snyder. She loves to play bass in her band, body surfs the crowds, and win drag races. And in 2017, she became the youngest ever female billionaire. Pretty interesting. The company was started in 1948 by Lindsay's grandparents, Harry and Esther Snyder. They started in a 10 by 10 building and has grown to a 388 unit icon worth over $4 billion today. I bet you're thinking, wow, all that success? I'd love to open up an In-N-Out Burger. Where do I sign? And that brings me to the first rule they broke. Rule number 1, they don't sell franchises. Doesn't matter how bad you want one, no matter how much money you have, In-N-Out Burger does not sell franchises. Every single location is company owned. Harry Snyder had a strict but simple business philosophy. Give customers the freshest, highest quality food you can buy and provide them with friendly service in a sparkling, clean environment. And he believed that if he sold franchises, he would lose control of consistency. You see, when you own a franchise, you own that business. The brand is not your boss. You pay a royalty to the brands so you can use their marketing, their system, and their products, but it is your business. And sometimes a franchisee will get a little lazy or overwhelmed and start to cut corners on quality, service, and cleanliness. That's why you can go to one Taco Bell and it's amazing, but 3 miles down the road, go to one that has a dirty drive-through, dry refried beans, and the help is rude. It's probably a different owner. Now the brain can come down and recommend that you do better, but unless you are breaking the terms of the license agreement, not much happens. And because the franchisor, the brand, makes their money by selling more franchises, the last thing they want to do is start shutting down restaurants. Now this was going against the trend. McDonald's started that same year as In-N-Out Burger, and it was going great by growing with franchises. They were franchising all across the country. And over the years, people begged the Snyders to sell franchises, but they have remained focused and committed to their principles. And we'll continue to see how well their principles have served them over time. Rule number 2, they keep their menu simple. How simple? They have burgers, fries, 3 flavors of shakes, a few drinks, and hot cocoa, and that's it. Compare that to over 80 items on the McDonald's menu. Sonic Drive-In has over 1 million drink combinations alone. Most restaurants specialize in one item, but they also have to have other items just to accompany the main thing. So if I'm a burger joint, I know I also have to sell French fries, drinks, and milkshakes. I'm looking for the minimum number of items I must sell in order to be a viable competition in the burger joint category. In business, this is referred to as table stakes. Like in a poker game, I have to have a minimum amount of money before I can even sit down at the table. The challenge is to know how many things you really need. Most burger joints look at other burger joints, and one guy starts selling a chicken sandwich. And now we have to sell a chicken sandwich. Not the best chicken sandwich, just something that's pretty good, just in case someone else in the car wants a chicken sandwich. Ooh, and what about fish sandwiches? McDonald's sells a bunch of those. And what about breakfast? You know, I know we're a burger joint, but hey, breakfast is just table stakes now. And once you add an item, it's really hard to take it off because you've got that one guy, that one customer who eats it every day, and he says he'll
never come back if you ever stop selling the barbecue beef pie.
But In-N-Out has said no to all of that. They sell their 9 items. So what does that simplified menu do for them? Well, every one of them is fresh and high quality. It helps them provide fast, friendly service with few mistakes in a sparkling clean environment. Rule number 3, you can't order with an app. So they have one, but you can't order with it. It only shows them the locations of the stores. Now, why doesn't Lindsay Snyder want you to use an app for ordering? She thinks that using an app would take away from the face-to-face communication that makes them so special. Now, everyone else thinks she's
crazy.
Most restaurants are doubling down on their apps for ordering. Starbucks was an early trailblazer in the mobile ordering business, but there are some consequences that come along with that success. Apparently, the app orders overwhelm employees with large, complicated orders that flood the store during busy times, causing long waits for customers who already came into the store to order, and they get extremely frustrated when order ahead customers come in and seem to cut in line in front of them. In-N-Out says that mobile orders would force them to cook ahead and put food under a heat lamp. That hurts quality. It would also add a huge number of orders to the kitchen, which would slow them down and hurt overall service. Hey, it's incredibly hard to go against conventional wisdom. And when everyone else is telling you you're crazy, it's hard to stick to your principles. But, they'll say, hey, how can you possibly not use mobile ordering in 2023? Well, they break the rules. They don't care what everyone else is doing. In-N-Out has 3 key principles for success, and mobile ordering in its current form breaks 2 of them. Rule number 4, they expand very slowly. 2 reasons for this. 1 is quality control. You see, they never build a location farther than 1 day's drive from one of their meat processing plants. See, they grind their own meat in their own plant, and they deliver it to their locations fresh, never frozen. However, they do have plans to expand to Nashville, Tennessee by early 26. Congratulations, Nashville. And the second reason is their dedication to never taking on a lot of debt. Harry Snyder would never build a new building until he could pay for it. Contrast that with most brands who try to grow fast by opening as many locations as they possibly can. They take on a ton of debt, and often they lease their property instead of buying. In the short term, you can open a lot more locations this way, but in the long term, you always have to pay rent. What In-N-Out can do is not pay rent after they're paid off and use that money to pay more to their employees and to put more money on the bottom line. So they have fewer locations, but those locations are more profitable and more stable during bad times. Now, when hard times come, and they always do, they're in a strong position to weather the storm because they don't have rent or a huge banknote hanging over their heads. Rule number 5, they never went public. You can't buy stock in the company. They don't need your money, and they don't want to be pushed around by Mr. Wall Street. You see, Mr. Stock Market can be a really moody partner. Mr. Market wants you to open locations and grow sales. If, for instance, you say to the market, hey, we're going to open up 120 new locations this year, but at the end of the year, you only open 112, the stock market gets really scared and your stock price crashes. So now your focus begins to become on opening more locations fast. Not always the best locations, just more locations. And Mr. Market hates flat sales. So one quick way to grow sales fast is deep discounts. Say like 99-cent double cheeseburgers at Burger King. Now that might make Mr. Market happy, but that's how Burger King ended up with angry franchisees who sued the company. Rule number 6, they pay their people really well. How well? Their managers make an average of $160,000 per year. And I saw this sign in the window of an In-N-Out Burger last week for hourly employees. They also offer lots of benefits, insurance, and paid vacations. This is a big part of why they are ranked number 10 in Glassdoor's best places to work in 2023, snuggled nicely between number 8 Google and number 13 Microsoft. A burger joint. What does this lead to? Hey, less turnover, and that means better trained team, which means less mistakes, which means better service. Now, this is not a simple fix. You can't just give all your people a raise and expect your sales to go through the roof. You have to combine great compensation with great training, great company culture, and great leadership. But this remarkable compensation helps show the In-N-Out associates that the company really cares about. And hey, something seems to be working. Rule number 7, they are not politically correct. Lindsay Snyder puts a note with every paycheck that says this paycheck is made possible by the customer. Hey, that's pretty old school, but I love it. She's kind of a wild child too. She has a rowdy past, and she's a professed Christian who continues to put Bible verses on all the food packaging. She doesn't do it because she wants to be controversial. She does it because that's what the company values. Now, some people may say that she doesn't look like a very good Christian. Hey, she sometimes has purple hair and she has tattoos, for goodness sake. And she also doesn't shy away from discussing her former drug addiction or 3 previous marriages. But her actions speak loudly because she donates her time and millions of dollars to her 2 foundations, In-N-Out Burger Foundation, which helps prevent child abuse, and the Slave to Nothing Foundation to open paths to freedom to those who are enslaved by person or substance. In-N-Out is so successful because they have a clear set of simple principles and they will not compromise. Hey, do not forget their amazing results. If you want to learn more about business and success tips, be sure and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.